How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy King Calf, and man, it's 2025 almost. What the hell happened to this last year? I mean, it just feels like the other day we were doing 2024's list, but here we are, a full year later. And to be honest, this has been a great year for video games. In my last video, I made the foolish mistake by saying this year was going to be a chill year. Bro, it was the opposite of that, especially in the fall. I was falling behind. I still am falling behind on a lot of games. I'm playing like 4 games at once, and it is a lot because your boy does not have time like he used to. But, you know, I'm getting those reviews out. More will be coming. We got Dragon Ball Daima. I mean, 2024 has been an interesting year. You know, some good, some bad. We lost Akira Toriyama, which is very sad, and hey, as they're recording this video, Eminem's mom has passed away, so rest in peace to her as well. But yeah, I mean, going back to video games, this has been a great year, and just because, you know, it's December 3rd as the recording, I can't really see any other games coming out that are going to make this list, so I want to give my top 10 games of this year. Now, if a game that you like isn't on this list, you know, maybe I didn't like it, maybe I didn't play it. This is just my personal list. You know, video games are very subjective, so be nice to each other in the comments. You don't have to be nice to me, I don't care, I'm used to it. But let's get into the list of the top games of 2024. So I want to start off with some honorable mentions. These are games that I thought were fantastic, but just didn't quite make the list. First one's gonna be Tekken 8. You know, at first I really did love Tekken 8, but you know, your boy was getting smacked a lot. No, I'm kidding. I think Tekken 8 was a great game, but I think Tekken is just one of those games that, you know, it can click at first, but afterwards, you know, it's really hard to stick with. You kind of have to be willing to get your ass kicked, be willing to kick some ass, learn the tech, all this stuff. And I'm one to always learn tech in fighting games, but just Tekken was just one of those games that just didn't click with me. I'm more of a 2D fighter kind of guy, like, you know, your Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, fighters, all that jazz. I do like 3D arenas, which we'll get into later. But yeah, Tekken 8, you know, I thought it was a fantastic game. Definitely one of the best fighting games that I've released in the last, I don't know, 5 years. But it just didn't quite crack the top 10. But, you know, if Tekken 8 is on your list, it is a fantastic choice. Next honorable mention is going to be Silent Hill 2 Remake. I know a lot of people probably have this in their top 3, top 5. I loved Silent Hill 2. I will have a review coming out for that game eventually, hopefully before the end of the month. I really did enjoy Silent Hill 2. I did. But I'm more of a Resident Evil guy, and you know, this is my first time playing Silent Hill 2. I didn't play it back on the PS2. I was very young, and I just never went back to it. I was always like a Resident Evil kind of person, didn't really get too much into Silent Hill, but you know, I thought the game was fantastic. I think the story is fantastic. The emotion behind everything is definitely a masterclass in character writing and, you know, all that. But just, I think the game had some pacing issues, which I did see that online, that the pacing is a little bit worse than the original just because the game is longer. And I also did feel that there was just some times when I was ready to get to the next set piece, but then another puzzle came, and then, you know, I finished that puzzle. Now I'm like, okay, I think I'm gonna make it out of the apartment, and then another puzzle came, and it just got so exhausting eventually that I had to take a break before, you know, finishing the game. But I think that Silent Hill 2, especially once it gets going, is a great game, but it just didn't make the top 10. But again, if it's on your list, I don't blame you. And the last honorable mention is going to be Helldivers 2. I know a lot of people probably are going to have this in their top 5, top 3, especially when the game first came out. But I thought Helldivers 2 was really fun, great game to play co-op. I didn't play too much of it, and that's why I can't give an honest opinion. But from what I did play, the couple hours I did play, I thought the game was fantastic. It was really fun in co-op. Definitely laughed harder than I did in most other games. So Helldivers 2, great game. I know that there were some updates that kind of ruined the game, and a lot of people are getting pissed off about like the PlayStation, the PSN needed when on PC. You know, the developers did definitely screw up a bit in the post-content launch. but I know that they've been releasing other updates and the game is a lot better. So, you know, Helldivers 2, great game. I definitely do plan on playing it more once more content comes out. But for now, it's going to be in my honorable mention, and if it's on your list, hey, more to you, man. So, we're going to start the list at number 10, and to shock anyone, especially me, is going to be Black Ops 6. If you looked at my Modern Warfare 3 review last year, and you told me that Black Ops 6 that's coming out the following year is going to make your top 10, I would have drop kicked you on the ground and stolen all of your money. But here we are. Black Ops 6, I think, is a great Call of Duty game. It definitely is the best COD since Cold War. Say what you want. Some people didn't like Cold War. I thought Cold War was a great package. And I think Black Ops 6, even though it's got some faults, is a great package. It's got a great campaign, fun multiplayer, ranked play is fun. Zombie mode has a lot of Easter eggs. You know, post content has been pretty good. I just think that the one thing they gotta do is add some more maps, because the maps we got at launch were kinda dog shit. But hey, I think Black Ops 6 is a great game. The movement, the omnidirectional movement, definitely is a game changer if you learn how to utilize it. The guns feel nice, they're snappy, great recoil with your beaming kids. The SMG shred kids like normal snipers feel tough. I think that Black Ops 6 is definitely a great game, and I'm excited to see what comes from it. If you've seen me on Twitch, you know I love my ranked play, and this is definitely some of the most fun I've had in ranked play since Cold War. So, Black Ops 6, congratulations, you are my number 10. Number 9, we have Persona 3 Reloaded. I was very excited about this game. I love Persona. Persona 5 is one of my favorite games of all time. Persona 4 Golden, I went back and played that after Persona 5, and I loved it. And I never played Persona 3. I didn't play the original PS2 one or the one on PSP or anything. So Reloaded was my first experience playing Persona 3. I know people love the story of Persona 3. It definitely has the darkest story out of any other one. I mean, in this game, to summon your Persona, you literally have to shoot yourself in the head. So, I mean, it's pretty dark as it is, but I thought that Persona 3 was a great game. It definitely felt like an evolution of Persona 5, but also a step back, just because you can definitely see some aged mechanics like Tartarus and everything. But the story, the characters, the gameplay, the music, I mean, come on, the music is iconic in Persona 3, and the remixes that they did in this game were fantastic as well. The graphics, although I think that the Atlas engine is a little dated, it still looks good. It's still stylish. The menus, the characters, animations, everything is just so stylish with these Atlas games, especially in the Persona universe. But yeah, Persona 3 I thought was a great game. I was really addicted to it when I was playing it. And once the story gets going, as with all Persona games, you just never want to stop. You can't stop. Once the story is going, you're just sucked into that universe. You're wanting to go on dates with people. You're going to want to go chill with your best friend, go get all your relationships to max level. You want to do all of that stuff once you're invested in the game, and Persona 3 definitely had me hooked. So Persona 3 is my number 9 for 2024. And at number 8, we have Warhammer Space Marine 2. This is actually one of the most recent games I've been playing. My boys have been telling me to get it. It's really fun co-op. And, I was going to get it, but I was just waiting for a Black Friday sale. I spent way too much on fucking games this year. So it was finally on sale, and your boy bought it. And man, this feels like classic 360 era gaming. Like, this feels like how I felt when I played the original Gears of War on 360, seeing the visceral gameplay, chainsawing motherfuckers, like all that jazz is in this game. This is like a manly ass game. I love it. There's no freaking sweet babying bullshit in this game. This is probably one of the only games that came out of the West this year, this and Helldivers 2, that isn't woke. So, that already is getting put on the list just for that. But real talk, this game is extremely fun. The campaign's great. The characters are great. Titus is a great main character. The party you have is great too. The world, the enemies, the gameplay is just addicting and visceral. And It's just a really fun time, especially in co-op. And then once you beat the campaign, you can go do the operations missions and see, like, you know, what happens to the soldiers that aren't with Titus, their perspective, and level up your class and get new weapons and skins. And it was just a really fun time. I'm definitely going to be dropping a review for this game probably in January or something, because I'm still playing it. But Space Marine 2, you know, I knew this game was fun, but I didn't know it was this fun, and it just got on my list recently. I was thinking about it, and I'm like, yeah, this is definitely one of the most fun I've had in 2024. So Space Marine 2, fantastic game. If you haven't gotten it, definitely recommend it. It's one of the only good games this year that is on all the consoles, including Xbox. So, and it launched with crossplay. You can play with anybody. So great game. If you're looking for a game for you and your buddies to play, it's fun. Haven't really gotten into the PvP yet. I definitely heard that that's the weakest part of the game, but the PvE content is great, and they're adding more stuff that's going to be free content. So free is the best price. If you haven't tried it, definitely try it. Space Marine 2, congratulations. You are my number 8. Number 7, we got Sonic X Shadow Generations. I just did a review of this game not too long ago. I loved Shadow's campaign. This game, Shadow Generations, is definitely some of the best 3D boost Sonic gameplay that you'll ever play, ever. If you are a Sonic fan, you probably already have this game. If you haven't, you're considering it. I think it's on sale still right now. Definitely grab it. It is amazing. Sonic Generations has always been one of the best boost games out there. You know, it's a classic, and they redefined it with some better graphics and more steady FPS. But the Shadow gameplay, I cannot stress this enough. Shadow has some of the best design levels that we've seen in probably the last 10 years, okay? Sonic Team has just been on a roll with Frontier and then this, and I'm just excited to see what they're going to do in the next brand new mainline Sonic game. You know, they redefined the open world stuff in Frontiers with Shadow's hub world stuff. Very fun. You know, he gets different powers. He can, like, get wings and fly through some of the levels. You know, the set pieces are amazing. The story is actually not bad. You know, Sonic Generations story was pretty bare bones, but Shadows definitely kicks it up a notch. I definitely like how Ian Flint has been giving us these more emotional stories and more emotional character development, and we're seeing it right here. So, you know, I think Shadow campaign, again, is some of the best Sonic gameplay that you'll see in the modern era. So Sonic X Shadow Generation, this was not on my radar. I was very surprised how good it came out, and it just goes to show that Sega is on a roll right now, and I think that if they redefine what they've been doing in Frontiers and in Shadow's Generation, I think that we can get that masterpiece Sonic game that us, the community, have been asking for so many years, probably since Adventure 2. And number 6, we have Stellar Blade. Stellar Blade was one of those games that was just bathed in controversy just because, you know, people didn't like the main character was wearing skimpy outfits. You know, aside from all of that, what we got with Stellar Blade was a game that was much bigger than anybody could have imagined. You know, massive open world, hub worlds for these maps, side quests, crazy boss fights, great combat that's based on like deflecting but also dodging. You're getting like a mix of Sekiro with, you know, Jedi Survivor gameplay. Very fun. Music was top notch, some of the best game music that we've gotten in a while. This is pretty much a spiritual successor to Nier Automata. So if you were a fan of that game and just like the atmosphere of that, you're definitely gonna love this. We got a bunch of cool costumes for the main character, you know, different endings. I think Stellar Blade was definitely a big surprise, and this was this Korean developer's first AAA game, and they nailed it. I mean, right now the game is still stuck on PlayStation, so unfortunately, if you don't have a PlayStation 5, you can't really play it. But I mean, I can definitely see this game coming to PC soon. I think it was announced. I could be wrong, but it will eventually make it to PC, and I know that y'all are going to be absolutely wild with the mods once it comes to PC. But I digress. Stellar Blade was an amazing game. I was definitely addicted to it. And then they released a boss rush for free. And I mean, the bosses, like, this game is a boss rush game. Like the last, I'd say, 4 hours of the game is just endless boss. And they are the best part of the game. The ending is amazing. The last boss, everything. So Stellar Blade, if you're looking for that great, like, spiritual successor to Sekiro, I mean, this is definitely great. The deflection in this game is just so satisfying, and just the combos you can do and all the power-ups and everything. I think Stellar Blade is a great game, and it is my number 6 for 2024. So we have made it to the top 5. And these top 5s are some of the best games I think I've played in the last decade. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to bullshit you. These top 5 games were surprising and amazing. So I want to start with my number 5, which is Astro Bot. Astro Bot is probably one of the best platformers of all time. I'm going to say it. I don't care if you're going to hate it. All right. Astro Bot was incredible. And if you have a PlayStation, you know that the pack-in game, Astro's Playroom, was an amazing showcase for what the PS5 did. And Astro Bot 2024 is a redefinement of that, and it shows the capability of what the PS5 can do with the haptic feedbacks and all that shit. And I just think the creativity and the callbacks to past PlayStation IPs was just done so tastefully in this game. And we get free content as well. I mean, hey, Astro Bot was incredible. If you saw my review, I'll definitely link it in the description below. You know that I was a massive fan of this. And to be honest, anybody who played Astro Bot was a fan of this. I haven't met one person or seen one person online say that this is a bad game. And there's a reason. There's a reason why this game is universally acclaimed for how good it is. Because Astro Bot was just a charming game, no bullshit, and it just is a love letter to PlayStation, especially if you've been in this ecosystem since the 90s with the PlayStation 1. Again, if you have a PlayStation 5, I don't know what the hell you're doing watching my video. Go get Astro Bot. It's probably on sale right now for Black Friday, and play that shit. Especially if you've been in this ecosystem, because it's going to make you shed a tear. Just bringing all the nostalgia back to you. It's that good. So Astro Bot is number 5 for my game of the year. And number 4, we have Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Man, the community's hype for this game was through the roof. Sparking Zero is just a great love letter to us Dragon Ball fans. It just shows the legacy that Akira Toriyama, rest in peace, has left for us. This is the newest in the Budokai Tenkaichi series. In Japan, it's called the Sparking series. And, we hadn't gotten a new Budokai Tenkaichi for 17 years since the PS2. So when this game was announced, people freaked out, because if you had a PS2, you most likely had Budokai Tenkaichi, either 2 or 3, and you played that shit all night with your boys or your siblings or whatever, because Dragon Ball is just that iconic. And this game is just Budokai Tenkaichi 3, but bigger and better. We have more redefined combat, better graphics. I mean, the ultimates in this game look stunning. We have crazy what ifs in the story. That Gohan Black story was just, I wish that was in Super instead of Goku Black, but whatever. And, the game does have some problems. We are getting a big update in December that's going to apparently change all the mechanics of the game. I'm excited to see that. But what we got from launch, sure, the game was broken. We knew it was not going to be balanced. They literally told us it wasn't going to be balanced because it's not a competitive game. But y'all took this game too serious, and that's why people were freaking out. And the game kind of died because people didn't like how unbalanced the game was, even though we knew it was unbalanced. Like, Master Roshi cannot beat Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Like, I'm sorry, if you watch the show, you know that's not going to happen. But whatever, I think what we got in this game is amazing. Some of the best times I've had was playing my boys in this game, and I continue to play it and redefine my skills in it. And this is my favorite fighting game of the year. I mean, sure, you could say it's not a true fighter. It's a 3D arena fighting game, but I think it's a fighter. It's got ranked. I'm almost at Z rank right now in singles, and then almost at S3 in DP fights. So I'm taking it pretty serious. So if you want to fight, just send me your PSN in the comments below. I will take you on. I wish that this game had crossplay. Hopefully they do release crossplay, because I think that will definitely you know, bring the hype back to the game and revive the game. But for now, Sparking Zero, I bought the freaking collector's edition. It's in the background. You'll see it right there. I bought this game twice. I'll have to review as well, so definitely go check that out. But Sparking Zero, amazing game. I'm definitely going to keep playing it with all the content that's coming out. So for now, you are number 4. Congratulations, Sparking Zero. And at number 3, we have Black Myth Wukong. I know that this is going to be number 1 for a lot of people. Black Myth Wukong was almost my number 1, but then 2 other games just edged it out. But Black Myth Wukong is easily the biggest game of 2024. It sold like 20 million copies in a month. That's wild. It was the first game from this Chinese developer. You know, we were hyped about this game when they showed it off like 5 years ago. Then it went completely silent, and then it came back, and it was everything that we wanted and more. And when I say that this game needs to be played with a guide, I mean you gotta play this game with a freaking guide, because there are so many secrets that you will not know how to find without a guide. Like, I don't know how people found this out in the first place. Maybe I'm an idiot, but I definitely think that this game needs a guide for certain areas. But the combat is buttery smooth. You know, the dodging is fun. The customizing that you can do with your powers and your magic and everything is just so fun. I think that Black Myth Wukong excelled over what people thought. I thought this game was going to be good, but I didn't know it was going to be a low-key masterpiece. Like, I was so addicted to this game, and it's long, man. Like, this game is freaking long, and when you get to that final part, just the atmosphere and the beauty and the artistic style of this game is just so gorgeous. Like, we never get Chinese mythology games, and you know what better way to show the Journey to the West, which is one of the most iconic Chinese history stories. I mean, fucking Dragon Ball, Sun Wukong is what created Son Goku. Son Goku is based on Sun Wukong, Journey to the West. Like, the first arc of Dragon Ball is literally pretty much a low-key adaptation of Journey to the West. So without Journey to the West, we wouldn't have Dragon Ball. So take that as you may. But I think that, you know, Black Myth Wukong excelled anybody's expectation. You know, it's great on PC. It has some performance issues on PS5, but if you get the Pro like I did, it's definitely a lot more ironed out. But amazing game. I feel bad for Xbox for not having it, but I think that they are getting it shortly. So definitely, if you have an Xbox, once this game releases, I highly recommend you get it. But Black Myth Wukong, easily the number 3. I wish I could play this number 1, but there was just a game that came out that I was surprised how good it was, and then one game that if you watched my videos, you know which my number 1 game is going to be. But for now, Black Myth Wukong, amazing game, highly recommend if you haven't played. Your number 3 for now. Number 2 is Metaphor ReFantazio. I mean, this game, I didn't even know this game was coming out. Like, I think I saw a trailer for it a while ago, but I knew it was from Atlas, but I'm like, oh, it's a new IP. I don't know how I feel about their new IPs. The Persona series is the only series that kind of really brings me in from Atlas. And then I started seeing reviews of this game. I'm like, okay, it looks pretty good, but it came out the same day or week as Sparking Zero, so I didn't play it for a bit. I finally got it, and oh my goodness, this game, I low-key think this might be better than Persona 5. I'm not decided yet because I haven't finished the game. I actually am putting this as number 2, and I haven't finished the freaking game. I'm like 70% done. But the world building, the lore, the story, the characters, it's just, it's uncomparable. I mean, Atlas really just created a brand new IP and put it on the level as Persona as if it was nothing. Like, this game is incredible. The combat is fun. The music, although it's different than what we're used to, is incredible as well. The art style, again, their system is starting to kind of, you know, show its age a bit, but still beautiful to look. We still have all of the stylish menus that we get in Persona. We still have the great character interactions, the bonds that you're forming with your party and with like other civilians, side quests, all of that. The villain, man, Luis is one of the sickest. He's literally Dio Brando in a video game. I'm not even kidding. He just reminds me of Dio so much of how he's such a cocky shit and he thinks he's better than everybody. I think that Louise is one of the sickest villains ever, and I cannot wait to see how the game ends, because I heard the ending is incredible as well. But Metaphor, I mean, definitely if you're looking for a long RPG, like this is like an 80-hour game easy, all right? If you're looking for a long, you know, turn-based combat RPG with life simulator like this, there's nothing else I can suggest other than this. Like, this is the top of that category. If you play Persona 5 or Persona 3 this year, I highly recommend this game. It's on everything. It's on PC, Xbox, PS5. I've been playing it on PS5. I think that this game is a true masterpiece, and I think this is one of those games that's going to be talked about for a while. And when we get Metaphor 2 eventually, I think the hype is going to be through the roof, because people know how good Metaphor is. And the game sold well. It sold like 1 million copies in like a week or something. I cannot wait to see what the updated sales figures are, but this game was incredible. I like how you can switch your class and you can study any class. Like in Persona, your party is only stuck to being one class, while the main character can change. In this game, anybody can be anything, and I just love the customizing that's allowed in this game. So again, if you're looking for a long, in-depth RPG, Metaphor ReFantazio is definitely the game for you. It's number 2. This game came out of nowhere on my radar, and I'm so glad it did. Congratulations. And number 1 is going to be a game that probably is now in my top 10 favorite games of all time. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is just an incredible masterpiece. I was addicted to this game. I did a review, and it's actually like my highest viewed video, so definitely go check it out. Show some love to your boy. But Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was just an incredible journey. The production, story, the soundtrack is iconic. If you played Remake, you have to play this game. Right now it's only stuck on PS5, and I know it's coming to PC, so PC people definitely look out for this game. The combat is just everything in Remake, but just excelled 3 times. We have open worlds now, like massive maps with a bunch of shit to do, mini games, side quests, things to explore. I literally 100% of this game, my first playthrough. I went through everything. I literally 100% every single map, because I was so addicted to this game and all the mini games. And Queen's Blood, the card game, is amazing as well. It has one of the best storylines to it. I know some people have some issues with the ending. I think right now you should definitely chill on the ending and wait to see what happens in the 3rd game, because I think if Square is able to wrap everything up properly in the 3rd game, I think that will make the 2nd game's ending look amazing. So definitely hold off on that. But the combat and how you can switch characters and all the new characters, like, you know, Red is so fun to play. Yuffie, even though we played her in the DLC for Remake, she's even better in this game. And I just cannot wait to see what they do in the 3rd part. Like, I'm waiting for the 3rd part. They said it's going to come sooner than how long it took to make part 2. I hope so. You know, we get to play Zack in the beginning and at the end of the game, and Zack is really fun to play. We play as freaking Sephiroth at the beginning as well, and he is just broken to shit. And just everything about this game just made me grin from ear to ear. I loved Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I think it is not only one of the best Final Fantasy games ever created, but it is one of the best games, in my opinion, to be ever created. And, you know, you can hate on me for that, but I think that Rebirth was just a masterclass in everything that it did. I hope in Jeff Keighley's stupid-ass Game of the Year awards, it wins either Game of the Year or it wins other awards, because this game deserves to be praised. It deserves to have the sales numbers, and although it had some performance issues on base PS5, the Pro definitely makes the performance mode in the game amazing. It sucks that you have to pay, like in Canada, $1,000 to get the better version of it, but if you have a Pro, definitely recommend playing this game. I'm gonna replay this game on the Pro after I'm done, you know, Metaphor and everything. I fired it up when I got my Pro, but just to see how it looked, and it looks amazing. Definitely gonna replay the game afterwards. But yeah, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is my number 1 game of 2024, and I just still can't believe that this game was as good as it was, because Final Fantasy VII is one of the most iconic, important video games of all time, in my opinion, and just doing the remake this well is just something that nobody ever thought was possible, especially that the fact that these are more of a sequel to 7 rather than an actual remake. So Square, you're killing it, man. I cannot wait to see what you do with part 3. I hope it's bigger and better than what part 2 was, if that's even possible. So yeah, that's my list. We're at the end of 2024. 2025 is on the horizon. We got some crazy games coming out. I hope GTA 6 comes out. It's supposed to come out, but you never know. With the gaming industry nowadays, we have some big other titles coming out. I think 2025 is going to be a big year. I am no longer going to say things are going to be chill years, because I was proven so wrong in 2024. But 2025 is definitely looking like a massive year. So, let me know what you guys thought about the list. Was any of these games on your list? Am I missing games? Am I an idiot? And do I have great taste? Should I be a real game reviewer? Let me know in the comments below. Be nice to each other. Let me know your list. If you don't agree with other people's lists, just say, guys, games are subjective, so don't be an asshole. But until then, guys, hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Follow, hit me up on Twitch, all that jazz. Comments, I'll respond to all your comments. I like talking to you guys. And I'm going to definitely drop another review or two before the end of the year, and also give my updates on Daima. I've just been super busy. So I'll definitely let you guys know what I think of the Daima episodes as of now. Definitely the last episode was kind of crazy, so we got to talk about that. But I look forward to hearing from all of you. So thank you so much for a great 2024. And I'll catch y'all in the next video. King Calf signing out. Peace out, everyone.